Hello everyone, and welcome to Can I Beat Pokemon Shield with only Galarian Corsola? Galarian Corsola is a very interesting Pokemon. It's a regional variant of a Gen 2 Pokemon, and unlike the original, it comes with an evolution. So let's get started. I bring over a Corsola from Pokemon Home. I named it Casper, after Casper the Friendly Ghost. He's hasty in nature, so more speed and less defense. I don't know how to feel about that. Casper's ability is weak armor, so for every time Casper is hit with a physical attack, his defense goes down 1 stage and his speed goes up by 2. With our lowered defense, that might be bad, but I don't know. We start with Tackle and Harden. We are a special attacker, so this might not end well. We battle Hop at level 9. Woo's only attacking moves are normal type, so it just spammed Growl. Needless to say, we went down to Grookey. The next morning, we get our Dynamax bands and it's off to the wild area. Thankfully, in the wild area, we got a Ghost Pokemon raid because we get Shadow Ball as a reward. We also picked up leftovers before going into Motostoke to register for the gym challenge. We plow through Team Yell and the next morning we attend the opening ceremony. On the way to Route 3, we get into our next hot battle. Just like before, all we could do was tackle Wooloo as they continued to lower our attack with Growl. Wooloo went down to 6 tackles. We were at -6 attack, but thankfully we had Shadow Ball. Grookey went down to 2 Shadow Balls. Last is Rookidee, who was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. We go through Route 3 and got our mine. It's time for our first battle with Bede, who was a one-shot sweep with Shadow Ball. It's time for the first gym. Milo sends out Gossifleur. Gossifleur is a 3-hit KO with Shadow Ball, and out comes Eldegoss. Our attacks did the same amount of damage, but Eldegoss did activate our weak armor. On our last turn of Dynamax, we get Eldegoss to red health while we go down to max overgrowth. Quick fun fact, Eldegoss has 2 max overgrowth. A special one coming off Magical Leaf, and a physical one coming off Leafage. At level 20, Gossifleur is a 2-hit KO, but it has Rapid Spin, so it can activate weak armor. I eventually come up with the strategy with Light Screen and Reflect. I face Milo with Casper knowing Shadow Ball, Tackle, Light Screen, and Reflect. We set up Light Screen and Reflect against Gossifleur. 2 Shadow Balls to take out Gossifleur. Thankfully, it only used Magical Leaf, so no defense drops. For Eldegoss, we only attacked with Max Phantasm. Eldegoss' first attack didn't do much damage, but then Light Screen wore off. The next turn, Reflect wore off, and Weak Armor activated. On the last turn of Dynamax, Max Overgrowth hit Casper to below half health. But since we now outspeed Eldegoss, it went down next turn, which wins us our first battle. On the way to Hobury, we knocked into Hop, but Energy Power and Shadow Ball made short work of his team. It's on to the second gym. Nessa's Goldeen only attacked with Water Pulse, since Casper is immune to Horn Attack. It goes down to 3 Shadow Balls. Arcuda is next, and hits us with Bite, activating Weak Armor. Shadow Ball took it to a Sliver, so I decided to set up Reflect. Arcuda goes down to Ancient Power. Last is Dreadnought, but we go down to 2 Max Darkness. We come back a few levels higher, and with a team for Bulldoze. A Shadow Ball takes Goldeen to red health, and then we took it out with an Ancient Power, which gives us the Omni Boost. As a result, we outspeed and one-shot Arcuda. We're back to Dreadnought. Max Quake does good damage, but then Max Phantasm takes over half Dreadnought's health. And got on my number 2. Bede was a one-shot sweep. Again! We go through the mine, and towards the end, we encounter 2 Team Yell Grunts, and Hop. Casper gets destroyed by Snarl and Night Slash. Hop on his own manages to get past the first 2 Pokemon, but he eventually goes down. This actually takes a few tries. But at level 31, we got this attempt where, turn 1, Casper gets the Omni Boost from Ancient Power. Thanks to Snarl and Weak Armor, we don't have a special attack or defense boost, but the attack boost does help Bulldoze do big damage on Thievul and Linu, and Wooloo. Thievul goes down to Wooloo's double kick. Lapras comes out. Another Bulldoze takes out Linu, and Wooloo. Pancham and Corvuscular come out. Corvuscular is immune to Bulldoze, so I keep spamming it until we win. Our battle with Morny and Moastoke is next. Croagunk activates our weak armor with Sucker Punch, but goes down to a crit Shadow Ball. Scraggy's next, and maxes out our speed thanks to using Beat Up. Shadow Ball and Bulldoze are not doing enough damage, and Beat Up is doing more damage each turn. We eventually go down. But thankfully, I already had a plan. Disable. Beat Up is Scraggy's only move that can hit Casper. Croagunk is a one-shot with Bulldoze. We outspeed Scraggy, so we have to take a hit before we can use Disable. Marnie used a Super Potion as we got Scraggy to low health. This gave enough time for Beat Up to come undisable. So we're in yellow health when Scraggy goes down. Morpeko is last and takes us out with Bite. We grind some levels, but even at level 34 with -3 defense, Bite does 70 plus damage. To strengthen Bulldoze, I grind for attack EVs on some Stuffles and Mudbrays, and have Casper go up a couple levels. At level 35, Casper learns Strength Sap. We get this attempt at Morny at level 36, with Casper holding a Citrus Berry. Croagunk is still a one-shot with Bulldoze. We weaken Scraggy's attack using Strength Sap before disabling Beat Up. 3 Bulldozes take out Scraggy. Time for Morpeko. We weaken Morpeko with Strength Sap as Bite does 60 HP with the damage, but we disable it next turn. 2 Bulldozes take out Morpeko. It's time for the next gym. Ninetales manages to land a burn, but it goes down to 2 Ancient Powers. Arcanine activates our weak armor with Bite, and then lands a crit next turn, forcing us to use Strength Sap. Flame Wheel thankfully is not doing a lot of damage, but sadly we eventually go down to Bite. On our second attempt, Ninetales uses Fire Spin first turn, and we use Ancient Power and get the Omni Boost. Ninetales hits us with the second Fire Spin before going down to Bulldoze. Arcanine is next, so our attack boost is neutralized. Arcanine burns us, but goes down to Ancient Power and Shadow Ball. Scorch is last, and is a one-shot with Max Rockfall. With that done, we head to Hammerlock and on to Stow-N-Side. However, before we can face the gym, we have to face Hawk. Kremmer is a 2-hit KO with Ancient Power. Fluffy goes down to 2 Shadow Balls. With that, Casper levels up and learns Power Gem. I use it to replace Ancient Power. Silicobra is a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Toxel is last and is a one-shot by Bulldoze. It's time for the 4th gym. But first, I teach Casper Throat Chop. Why? For the wings! Oh. That did less than I thought. Well, at least weak armor is gone. Shadow Ball takes out your mask. Corsola is next. Hex takes us for 3 HP. We go down next turn. For our second attempt, we start with the Throat Chop to get rid of weak armor, just for Yamask to give it back with Brutal Swing. Shadow Ball takes out Yamask. Corsola is next and is a crit one-shot by Throat Chop. For the memes! Mimikyu is next. We break Mimikyu's disguise as it uses Hone Claws. Shadow Ball takes Mimikyu to a slither of health as we get taken to a slither by 2 Shadow Snakes before Mimikyu goes down. Last is Gengar, who is a one-shot from Max Phantasm. Outside the gym is our next beat fight, but we took him down easy. We did take a hit by a Derosion and Hatchroom because I wanted to test how much damage Throat Chop did. Immediately after the beat fight is the 5th gym. But first, we pick up the best item for Galarian Corsola to hold, the Eviolite. The Eviolite multiplies a Pokemon's defense and special defense by 1.5, but only works if it's a pre-evolution. It's basically like having a +1 in defense and special defense, so it saves us from weak armor for 1 turn. It's time for Opal. I place Throw Chop with Psychic. Weezing is a 1-shot with Psychic. Mawile is next, so our attack is down. Bulldoze does very little damage, but thankfully Shadow Ball takes out Mawile. Togekiss goes down in 3 hits and lasts out Alcremie. Neither Casper nor Alcremie could hit the other very hard, but then Opal gives us an attack boost. It takes Alcremie to red health. We end our Dynamax and Alcremie goes down next turn. We go back to Hammerlock and into our next hot battle. Trevenant manages to survive a Shadow Ball on a slither of health and activates our weak armor with Shadow Claw. Hop used a Hyper Potion, so 2 more Shadow Balls take out Trevenant. Boltund is next. It survives a Bulldoze and takes us to 26 HP with Crunch. It goes down next turn. Rillaboom comes out and we go down to Knockoff. Okay, as per tradition now, it's time to EV grind. Near the bridge outside Modesto, there are Glooms, who give 2 EVs in special attack. Rillaboom's Knockoff can feint Casper from green health, so we need to essentially one-shot it. But you might be thinking, Genki, Casper has no super effective moves. No, he doesn't. Until now. We eventually got this run where we survived a knockoff, and Rillaboom was a 2-hit KO with Ice Beam, but then Hemor comes out. Hemor survives Bulldoze and takes us out. Hemor's Fire Lash is a guaranteed defense drop, so we can't let it get multiple hits. I decided to swap Bulldoze for Whirlpool. It was the best special water move I had. I also swapped Psychic for Strength Sap. Trevenant is a 1-shot with Shadow Ball. Boltund activates our weak armor with Crunch, but is also a 1-shot. Rillaboom survives an Ice Beam and knocks off our Eviolite, but it gets frozen next turn, allowing us to heal using Strength Sap. Shadow Ball takes out Rillaboom. Heatmor is next. Whirlpool, after residual damage, takes Heatmor to half health. But Fire Lash does good damage, so I heal before taking out Heatmor with Shadow Ball. Snorlax is last. Ice Beam is doing almost nothing, so I'm guessing it has thick fat. Also, Heavy Slam is doing more than we can heal, so we eventually go down. Back to the bridge! Okay, a few levels later, we try again. We replace Shadow Ball with Psychic. Trevenant is still 1-hit KO. Boltund is a 3-hit KO. Rillaboom is a 1-shot. Heatmor is a 1-shot by a crit Psychic, and we are back to Snorlax. Heavy Slam took us to 24 HP, but 3 Psychics take out Snorlax. The 6th gym is next. I replaced Psychic and Ice Beam with Shadow Ball and Power Gem. Frostmoth was a 1-shot with Power Gem. Darmanitan survived the Power Gem and hits us with Icicle Crash. It went down next turn. For Ice Cube, I misclicked and used Whirlpool, but it just used Hail. 1 Power Gem takes it out. Last is Lapras. 2 Max Rock Balls take out Lapras. Hop is next. I added back Psychic and Ice Beam. Double can't hit us, so 2 Ice Beams take it out. Snorlax now knows Crunch, so it is doing more damage than what Psychic can do, but we outspeed, so Snorlax goes down first. Rillaboom then comes out and survives Ice Beam. On a freaking slither, we go down to Knockoff. Well, 2 levels and taking out a ton of Gloons later, we finally one-shot Rillaboom. Corviknight is next. We heal using Strength Sap, just to be hit by crit. We Strength Sap again. 2 Power Gems take out Corviknight. Pincurchin is last. We had to use Strength Sap first, but Pincurchin Spark does good damage. We go for Psychic and Pincurchin survives and paralyzes us. Thankfully, we did not get paralyzed and take out Pincurchin. With Hop done, we go down Route 9 and into our next battle with Marnie. I forgot to heal, so Casper is missing a chunk of health. Life Part starts with Torment, as it survives an Ice Beam. Marnie uses a super potion, so 2 more hits take out Life Orb. We strength snapped Scrafty, but Scrafty did not touch us. 3 hits take it out. Toxic Rock hits us with a Sucker Punch, and we take big damage, hitting ourselves in confusion. We go down to 1 more Sucker Punch. We replace Power Gem with Shadow Ball and try again. Lockhart still took 3 hits, and used Torment. Scrafty hits us with a punch, but still went down to 3 hits. Thankfully, Toxic Rock misses its Swagger and goes down to 1 second. Pico gets a crit, as we take it to red health with Ice Beam. We heal with Strength Step before taking it out. The 7th gem is next, so we catch our Magikarp and we're on the Pierce. Pierce's Scrafty hits us for good damage, but then it used Sand Attack, so our accuracy is down. Thankfully, 3 attacks take out Scrafty. Shadow Ball does good damage to Malamar, but then it destroys us with a single payback. Casper cannot learn anything that's super effective against dark types, so brute forcing cannot help with this gym. It took quite a bit of experimenting, like I got the TR for Calm Mind and tried that. I relearned Reflect and I could see something forming. However, I had to grind. For a while, I was running a strategy where I reduced the damage done by Pierce's Pokemon using Reflect and Will-O-Wisp, but we had no Strength Sap, so no healing. Using Calm Mind and Leftovers, at level 70, we got past Malamar. Obsidian took 2 Ice Beams. Last is Skunk Tank, who guess what? Has Sucker Punch and Toxic, so we go down. In the wild area, one of the Watt traders had the TR for Earth Power, so I got that, but it was luck if we could get back to Skunk Tank. At level 78, 14 levels up from our first battle with Pierce, we get this run. A Calm Mind boosted Earth Power one-shot Scrafty. Malamar is also one-shot. Obsidian uses Obstruct to block Earth Power, so we use Reflect to defend against Throat Chop. Earth Power takes Obsidian to red health, as another Throat Chop takes Casper to almost a third HP. 1 more Earth Power takes out Obsidian, and we're finally back to Skunk Tank, who did not use Sucker Punch, so we get the knockout with Earth Power, winning our 7th badge. Finally, it's time for Rifle. I replace Strength Step with Surf. Flagon goes down to 1 Ice Beam. Giga goes for Bifrost, which can't touch Casper. Sandaconda is out. Surf one-shots Sandaconda. It takes Gigalith to a quarter health. Gigalith hits us with the Sand Tomb, but that is fine. Duraludon comes out. Max Hailstorm takes Duraludon to a slither health, but Duraludon's back Steel Spike does almost nothing. Gigalith misses its Rock Blast, and Duraludon goes down to hail damage. Max Quake finishes off Gigalith, which wins us our final badge. We are now off to Winded for the semifinals, but our first opponent is Marnie. I forgot to heal. I changed my moveset but forgot to heal. But here's the funny thing. We were 1 move away from winning, with Casper only starting at half health. For our second attempt, Lifeguard starts with the Nessa plot as we start with Combat. Snarl doesn't hit very hard, but Ice Beam one-shots Lifeguard. Against Scrafty, we go for a second Calm Mind while Scrafty uses Swagger. Ice Beam causes Scrafty to freeze, but he immediately thaws out and hits us with Crunch. Marnie hits Scrafty just for Earth Power to take out Scrafty for full health. Toxic hits us with the Sucker Punch, and we hit ourselves in confusion, which takes us out. Take 3. We spam Calm Mind against Lifeguard for 3 turns, but Lifeguard used Snarl 2 of the 3 times. So Casper is at +1 special attack, but +3 special defense, when Lifeguard used Torment. We're now at +0 special attack, but Lifeguard goes down to Ice Beam. Scrafty hits us with Crunch, but goes down to 2 hits. Toxic is a one-shot with Psychic. Earth Power takes out Morpeko, and last is Grimmsnarl. G-Max Snooze takes Casper to 56 HP, but Grimmsnarl goes down to 2 Max Quakes. Hop is next. Double cannot hit us, but it isn't doing much damage, aside from activating Weak Armor. We started with Calm Minds, We were at +2 when we started attacking. Psychic one-shots double. Snorlax survives the Psychic, it takes us to below half health with Heavy Slam. Hop heals, but 2 Psychics take out Snorlax. Picurcha is a one-shot with Earth Power. Corviknight is a one-shot with Ice Beam. It lasts is really good. One Max Hail Storm takes it out. It's time to infiltrate Rose Tower. At the top of the tower is Oleana. Frostlass visits its Will-O-Wisp and goes down to 1 Shadow Ball. Milotic survives the Shadow Ball and just goes for Recover Spam. On our 3rd Shadow Ball, we get a crit in the special defense drop, so our next attack takes out Milotic. Salazzle goes down to 1 Earth Power. Serena goes down to Ice Beam and lasts is Garbodor. Max Quake takes out Garbodor. We find Leon and the finals can begin tomorrow, but first we have to battle Bee. Mawile is a one-shot with Earth Power. Gardevoir went for Calm Mind, but was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Rapidash was also a one-shot with Shadow Ball, and last is Hatterene. 1 Max Phantasm gives us the win. It's time for our finals match against Nessa. Shadow Ball takes Blizzpod to 1 HP, activates Emergency Exit. Barraskewda comes out. Barraskewda hits it to throw Chop for the memes before going down to Shadow Ball. Blizzpod's back, and Shadow Ball takes it to 1 HP again, and it used Emergency Exit. Again. CK comes out. Shadow Ball takes it to a Slither, so it goes down next turn. Blizzpod's back out. Again. Nessa doesn't heal this time, so it goes down. Pelipper goes down to 1 Shadow Ball. Last is Dreadnought. Max Quake takes out Dreadnought. Alistair's next. Alistair's team was a one-shot swoop with Shadow Ball. We had a little trouble with Chandelure landing Will-O-Wisp, but then Poltergeist never attacked us despite it being faster. We also tanked Gengar's GMX Terror pretty well. Last is Raihan. Torkoal is a one-shot with Earth Power. Flygon wastes its turn, setting up Sandstorm, so it goes down to Ice Beam. Turtonair comes out and is a one-shot with Earth Power. Goodra survives an Ice Beam, but it only sets up Rain Dance. Raihan heals next turn, so 2 Ice Beams take out Goodra. Last is Duraludon. 1 Max Quake takes out Duraludon. It's time to go battle Chairman Rose. Earth Power only takes a Escavalier to half health, but Escavalier only used Swords Dance, so it went down next turn. Berserker went down to 1 Earth Power. Ferrothorn. Oh my god. I almost wrote Ferroseed. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Ferroseed is a one-shot. Ferroseed is next. Good thing no one stays for this long, or I would be so embarrassed. Ferrothorn was still in green health after Earth Power, so it took 2 more hits to take it out. It only used Curse, by the way. Kling hits it with Assurance, but the damage it does was very little. It goes down to Earth Power. Last is Kabaraja. Max Quake takes Kabaraja to red health, while Kabaraja's Max Quake does only little damage. 1 more takes it out. When it comes to Eternatus, Dragonfall was doing big damage, but Eternatus went down to an Earth Power and Ice Beam. For Eternamax Eternatus, we just spammed Ice Beam until Eternatus went down. It's finally time for a battle with Leon. We go for Calm Mind thinking Aegislash would go for King Shield, but it attacked with Shadow Ball instead and got the special defense drop. We took it out next turn. Dragonfall is next and hits us with Shadow Ball before going down to Ice Beam. Next is Inteleon. Inteleon's Dark Pulse takes Casper to 27 HP before it goes down to Shadow Ball. We go down to Hexers. On our second attempt, we kept with the turn 1 Calm Mind as Aegislash to Shadow Ball, but no special defense drop this time. Aegislash then proceeds to use King Shield twice in a row, but it goes down to Shadow Ball, while in Shield form by the way. Dragonfall is next and hits us with Shadow Ball before going down to our Shadow Ball. Tiny goes for Tearful Look instead of Dark Pulse, but goes down to a crit Shadow Ball. This allows us to have enough HP to survive Exor's Outrage, which activates our weak armor. Exor's goes down to Ice Beam, one Shadow Ball takes out Mr. Rhyme and lasts his Charizard. Thanks to our Weak Armor activation, we outspeed Charizard and get the one shot with Max Rockfall. We won Pokemon Shield with only Galarian Corsola. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment.